Hi, everybody. Hope you're off to a great start to the month and that cooler weather will arrive soon. Here in Texas, it has been brutal. So today's video will be for anyone who owns an RV or plans on buying an RV. It's going to be about the used RV market and what's going on right now. And let me tell you, understanding the pre-owned market can save you a ton of money. It can, and a lot of frustration. My guest today is my friend Scott Stonehill. He's the VP of Operations at PPL Motorhomes. Scott is an RV owner himself, and he has decades of insight into the ins and outs of RV consignments, of pricing and what buyers and sellers are actually facing right now. Now, full disclosure, I do some consulting work with PPL. I do, but I don't receive any compensation of any kind, whether you buy or sell through PPL. I just want you to be happy. And to be happy, you have to understand how the RV consignment game works. So I hope that you'll listen to our conversation and do your own homework on how to buy or sell your RV. And before we get rolling, I hope you'll leave a comment down below. Let me know if you're in the market to buy or sell, or you're just keeping an eye on the market like I am. Make sure you check out my free RV resources by scanning the QR code over here. Or if you can't scan, click on the link in the description down below. You'll find links to America's most trusted RV dealers and a lot of great information to save you money and avoid some of the traps that so many people find themselves in. All right, let's get going. Give it a few seconds to kind of get going.
Okay.
My phone, yep, everything's turned to off. Do not disturb.
Oh, yeah, better. Okay. I'm on silent too, so that's good.
Ding, ding, ding. All right. So,
I'll put my phone over there on top of the my golf towel, so that way if it does vibrate, it's not going to make any noise.
there you go. All right. So, well, now that summer is officially behind us, we're into September and the beginning of fall camping season. I thought I'd want to check in with you and find out how things are going in the used market. I mean, for the last month, you guys have your finger on the pulse better than anybody. What are you seeing in the way of used and any high level market observations that might be worth mentioning?
Sure. We've had a really good summer. Really, July and August have been fantastic for us. We started off a little bit slower in June for some reason, but things really picked up with the 4th of July holiday and then on through the rest of the summer. So coming into the fall as we are now, we're really excited about our inventory position and the units that we have on the lot, the selection. Obviously this is the time of the year where things start to slow down just slightly as far as the sales are concerned, but they increase for us as far as folks may be looking to either sell their unit to get another unit or to sell their unit because they don't want to go camping anymore. But the listing side of our business has really ramped up over the last probably 3 or 4 weeks.
Is that I don't know, but it would seem like to me if I was going to sell, I would have given it to PPL in June at the beginning of summer than now. But I'm just making is now a good time to list your RV?
As we tell everyone, now is the best time to list, right? If you're thinking of selling, delaying the sale or delaying the decision only costs you money. Market conditions change, values change, and most of the time in the RV industry, values go down.
Right.
They go down as time goes by. So yeah, right now is really a good time if you've used the RV all summer and you feel like I don't want it anymore for whatever reason, or maybe you want to sell it and not have it through the winter. And then maybe next spring, you're going to go shopping again for a newer RV. This is a great time to sell. And, we stay pretty busy here in the South. We're fortunate enough to be living down here in the South where camping is a year-round event. I mean, people go camping in December. Right now, football season has kicked off. I think everybody's excited about that. You have tailgaters, you have people that are going to the campgrounds near the stadiums, that type of thing. So sporting events are always a big big attraction for RVers, whether it be football, racing, just all kinds of things going on this time of the year that people get excited about, whether it's pro football, college football, NASCAR, all the other kind of racing events that are going on, and other sporting activities as well. Everything starts to move to the south this time of the year. So,
is there anything that's moving particularly well or unusually slow, or any trends that you're seeing? You know, if I'm a seller out there and I'm sitting on a fifth wheel or a travel trailer, whatever I'm sitting on, and I'm thinking about selling, are there any things that are really hot right now, or any things that are really not right now? What do you think?
yeah, the hottest things this time of the year, well, we're coming out of that season, right? The summer season, but the hottest things during the summer are always travel trailers with bunks. Mostly young families, kids, they're looking for travel trailers with bunks. That is definitely the most sought after product out there. Secondary to that's probably fifth wheels with bunks. And then we move into the motorized category. Now, as we move into the fall, like we are now, the larger fifth wheels, more of the two-person units, not so much with the bunk models. More of those are becoming more attractive. Motorhomes become more attractive. That market's starting to come around as well. So you'll see seasonality will play into it as we go through this.
I'm seeing on your website, you've got, I made some notes here. You've got, first off, I just love your website. Every day it's like new stuff shows up, you know, new arrival. And it's just, to me, and I'm not in the mood for buying, but it sure makes me think about it. So you've got
Right.
everything from all the way down to about $6,000 to over $300,000, you know, big fancy diesel pushers that you're selling. And the way you've got them categorized, it looks like you've got an awful lot of fifth wheels and toy haulers. So a lot of
Yes.
people are selling them, but I guess a lot of people are still buying them.
There are a lot of people buying fifth wheels and toy haulers, and toy hauler season's just starting as well. In the fall, what happens in the fall? Hunting season, and many of these toy haulers are sought after by these avid outdoorsmen who want to take these out to the deer lease and have them available out there. Toy haulers are also good for folks who like to go to the beach. Because they can haul toys, four-wheelers and different things, golf carts, those types of things that people utilize while they're vacationing down at the beach. So right now, hunting season will be starting here the 1st of October with bow season, and then 1st of November, with guns. And that's a big deal in the South, and especially here in Texas.
Yeah, up north, hunting season is going to start even earlier than that. So, you know,
Yes.
I agree. Toy haulers are pretty cool for hunters that want to have a nice place to stay in their deer camp. So, anything unusual that's kind of come across your, the website, or that you've seen, or maybe any observations about the industry as a whole? Because I've heard a lot of negative talk, Scott, about
Mm-hmm.
what new dealers are experiencing and manufacturers. I know, like I said, you keep your finger on the pulse. What are you hearing?
Well, I made some notes because last month we were at an event or a convention where somebody from the RVDA Association was speaking about the first 6 months of the year. So this only takes us basically through June, and we've finished July and August at this point. So, but just looking at some of the things inventory wise, and this is for the new stuff that's out there. We're looking at trailer manufacturers, Forest River leading the way on the new side. They've sold 37,961 towables so far through the first 6 months of the year. Now, I don't have their July or August data at this point. They're also the number one fifth wheel manufacturer out there. So, looking at the new side, you've seen the last, looking at May and June, sales have taken off on the new side. faster than shipments are from the factory. So you're seeing these dealers that sell new, unlike us, we don't sell new. They're not ordering as much because they're trying to get their inventory situation right, but they're selling probably $8, $9, $10,000 more, or 8, 9, 10,000 units more than what they're buying at this point as a dealer body. So you're seeing a lot of that going on because they're going into the fall. They're trying to get inventories down. And right now, just looking at some of the notes that I made as far as their feelings about their inventory, looking at new inventory for the dealers, according to RVDA, on the towable side, that about 59% of the dealers feel like their inventory is in the right position going into the fall.
That's
Yeah.
good.
But 29% of the dealers think that their inventory is too high on the towable side. So they're concerned about their inventory levels, 29% of them. If you look at motorhomes, which I thought was interesting, 58% of the dealers in the country right now feel like their motorhome inventory is too high.
Wow.
58%. And this was straight from our RVDA's surveys with the dealers across the country. So you're looking at towables looking about right. 12% of the dealers in the country think their towable inventory is too low. So they'll probably be buying some inventory. Only 8% of the dealers in the country think their motorhome inventory is too low. And this is new. This is only new.
Okay, so yeah, and that's what I was going to get at. It's this is really good information for us as consumers to hear, but for you, for PPL Motorhomes, who doesn't deal in new, it sounds like to me this is one reason why your business is flourishing. I mean, it's
and if you look at the pre-owned, which is where we play, right? This is where we play. Right now, that has become a very hot place for traditional dealers to play in as well. If you look at margins on their used, they're reporting their margins are about 7 percentage points higher on their pre-owned than it is on their new inventory. Now, PPL, we're a consignment dealer. So, we take a 10% cut of everything that we sell. So if you bring a unit to us, we're only going to make 10% on it. You got other traditional dealers out there on their used inventory are making double that. So when you're looking at what we do versus what they do with used inventory, we're looking at trying to take care of the people that are trying to get rid of their RV and giving them the maximum amount for it. We're not going to keep 20%. I mean, nobody's going to come and do business with us if we tell them we're going to keep 20%, but yet that's what the traditional dealers are making on their used inventory, which tells me that if you're trading it in, you're not getting the most money for it at a traditional dealership. We can get you a lot more by putting it through our consignment program.
The translation, a couple things. One, not all consignment dealers do their business model the same way. And PPL,
correct.
You've only been working on this for 53 years,
Only 53. In fact, our anniversary was last week. So yes, 53 years officially now.
So you guys have got it pretty well figured out. And I have noticed there's a lot of the new dealers, big dealers, that are saying, we'll buy your RV. And that's where a lot of the money is being made by those dealers.
Right.
But the consumer doesn't really know it. And I must tell you that the folks, if you don't know, oftentimes what I do during the week is I'm on the phone talking with customers that do business at PPL, and I follow up to find out their experience and how they feel they've been treated and what changes might they suggest if they have any. And the one thing that's coming through, and Scott, you know this, is the simplicity. It's that people, they just don't want to mess with Craigslist or the RV Trader. They just want somebody to be honest with them, treat them right, and sell their RV for them.
I think that's the truth. What you find is a lot of folks want to get all the money, and so they will try to sell it on their own. And I understand that. Put a for sale sign on it, put it out there on one of the trade magazines websites, and see what you can do on your own. what they run into is a lot of the frustrations and things that we go through on a daily basis, and we know how to filter through that stuff. You're going to have those folks that call and ask questions about your RV and then say they want to come and see it, but they don't want to set a time or a date, or they just want to swing by and take a look, or they set an appointment and they don't show up. Or they do show up, but then they don't have the ability to make the purchase, or they need financing and you're not going to provide financing for them. So they got to go to their bank and see if they can get financing. We have all of those key ingredients in our dealerships that we can handle all of those things for that buyer on your behalf. And so it's much, much easier for us to do that transaction, advertise that unit, filter through all the people who are interested, handle all the leads that come in on that unit, and find the buyer that's going to pay the maximum amount for that unit. And then we keep the 10%. So if we sell your unit for $50,000, we keep 5, you keep 45. That's just the way it works. And it's very, very simple. It's been that way forever. And we're in no hurry to change our business model because it helps us succeed. I mean, for 53 years, we've been doing this. I expect we're going to be around for year 54, 55, and so on and so forth.
Pretty sure.
Because people really find that we are a great resource for them. And to me, it's worth paying on a $50,000 sale. It's worth me giving up $5,000 to not have the hassle. Honestly.
Absolutely. Okay. So for you folks who think that this is nothing but a sales pitch, part of it, yeah. Would I like you to list your RV at PPL or buy? Absolutely. I'd be a liar if I didn't say that. But there are differences, big differences between the way PPL does a consignment deal and other dealers. If I am skeptical, I'm going to still go to the, whoever it happens to be, because I know they'll take a deal in consignment. What should I, as a seller, ask that dealer to clarify, to get it in my mind so I can compare? Am I really getting a better deal to consign it over there or to consign it with PPL? Help me understand.
Well, traditional dealers, for the most part, I know a couple of dealers that work off a fixed commission amount like we do, and there are very few of those dealers out there because it's a very, I don't know, I guess it's not the model that works for everyone. It's the model that works for us. When you go to another traditional dealer, they're going to let you know a net amount. In other words, let's say that you got a unit that's going to list for $50,000. We'll keep using that example, but they're going to net you 40, right? So they're going to keep 10 if they sell it for the 50. But the problem is they don't provide you any kind of a statement to show exactly what that unit sold for. They're not going to tell you, or they're going to verbally tell you something, and it may or may not be true. I would hope that they would be upfront and honest, but for the most part, you don't see that happening. So they're going to sell it. Let's just say they sell it at $45,000 when they get that unit over the curb. The thing that's going to happen next is you're going to get a phone call from one of the managers at that dealership asking you to cut your net amount that you're willing to take. And they're going to try to do that to enhance or increase the volume or the profitability that they make on that deal.
Hang on.
And that's absolutely true.
Just a second. Even though they've already sold it?
Yes. Yes. So the unit's probably gone. The unit's probably gone and over the curb.
So that's just another way to get a little more
money. A little more money. Absolutely.
But you don't have any idea.
No, and we send every seller a seller's statement showing what we sold it for, what the costs were to get that unit prepped and ready, and what our take is. If we sell it for $50,000, you're going to see a notice on that statement that says we're keeping $5,000, and that's just the way it is. It's clear and transparent. But other dealers do not operate that way.
Okay, I don't want to spend too much time, I guess, talking about any one particular subject. But what do you wish buyers, let me start out with sellers. We've been talking a lot about sellers. What do you wish the one or two things that a seller, somebody that's going to consign their RV, whether with PPL or somebody else, that they just keep it in mind? What are a couple of major things?
Well, if they're coming to, you're talking about coming to us or going to a traditional dealer?
Let's start with PPL. They're coming to PPL. What
Okay.
do you wish they knew?
Well, if they're coming to us, we're going to go through the entire contract with them, showing them exactly how we're going to advertise the unit, what we're going to sell the unit for, you know, the how we're going, where we're going to market the unit, and the things that we're going to check on the unit when the unit is sold. We're very transparent with that. It's a very involved process to list a unit with us because number one, we want all the information we can possibly have about that unit, including any maintenance history that you can provide us so that we can provide that to the potential next buyer. We want to have all that information for them because that helps us market that unit more effectively. Many of your traditional dealers are probably not going to ask for that, nor are they going to put that in their selling system so that our salespeople can actually read all those notes when they're showing that unit to a potential buyer. You don't have that information available to you at a traditional dealership, or at least the ones I've worked at prior, where you get all that information loaded into the system and you can have all that information in those notes. And even sometimes the receipts showing where the oil changes were made, what kind of maintenance was done on the roof, what kind of winterization was done during the time that it needed to be winterized, all of the different things during the time that seller has owned that unit. It's very important that that history is there, and we ask for that, and we provide that to the buyer so that they know what they're getting.
I love how, I've gotten to know a lot of sellers, PPL sellers. And
Yes.
besides them saying that, look, it's just hassle free. I trust them that, and I've talked to people that have worked with PPL for 20 years for a long, long time, Scott. And so it makes me feel good to know that they're comfortable with the transaction. Many of them tell me that they have to have repairs done on their RV. You guys will say,
Mhm.
hey, you might want to think about this. We can fix it here, or you may want to think about it when we just talk about the price. And they appreciate that because you're thorough when you go through it. I mean,
At our locations, when you have a listing appointment, the listing agent's going to go out there with you along with someone from our service department. Typically, it's either going to be a service advisor. In many cases now, we're sending a technician out there to look for things that might detract from that unit selling. And so we're going to point those things out to the seller. We're going to provide estimates on what it would cost to take care of those items so that then we can ask a higher value for that unit when we're advertising it. If those things are fixed, it's just like when you walk into a unit, if you see a stain on the carpet as soon as you walk in, that might be a big turnoff to you. And you may just say, look, let's go look at something else. But the seller's not willing to pay to have us shampoo the carpets to remove the stain. And that's just something simple. But there's probably tens of other types of things that we can look at that we can say, hey, when's the last time you had the roof maintenance done? Oh, well, I've owned the unit for 5 years. I've never had the roof maintenance done. Well, why don't we do a scrape and reseal on the roof? That way we've got brand new caulking, all the seams are sealed up, and all of that is done, and we can do that for X number of dollars. And we can tell the future buyer that this has been done, right? So then that adds value. That's something that new buyer now doesn't have to worry about for a year because that has been taken care of. There's value in telling people those types of things, especially maintenance or cosmetic things that might detract from that unit selling.
people are buying through PPL a used RV. It's a used RV. It's
Yes.
not brand new. And
No.
and things are going to break. Even on a new RV, things are going to break.
Yeah.
And
They have
so
large warranty departments for those new
yes, they
RVs.
do. So it's got to be a challenge for PPL to work with both sides because I know y'all are as transparent as you could possibly be with the seller, with the buyer. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
And that's got to be a challenge because sometimes sellers come into the thing, I would imagine. I mean, this just telling the truth. They don't want to tell you everything. They want to pretend. Yes, I mean that happens. Got to happen.
Well, and that's why we do the visual inspection when it comes in, so that we can look for those items that typically people neglect on their RVs. And I'm not saying everybody does that, but there are people out there that think of their RV like their home. They're not going to get up on the roof of their house every year and check to make sure that all the maintenance has been done and the seals are good and all of that stuff. You have to do that on an RV,
Right.
especially in the South where it's hot and the sun's baking it all the time. It's even more important to do those types of things. Maintenance is a huge thing. You would not think of driving your car or your truck and not doing the regular oil changes and doing the tire rotations and having the brakes checked and all the other things that go along with that. Well, you think about an RV, whether you're towing one or driving one, a lot of those same things come into play. Maintenance is a big key in making sure that that RV retains its value.
And when you have a seller that provides those records, some of them do, that's got to
Right.
be a big benefit. I mean, if I'm a buyer and I can look and go, oh, wow, this thing's been taken care of versus a ghost,
Yeah.
nothing.
We all know that one person who we always said if they ever got rid of their vehicle, we'd want to buy it from them because we knew how meticulous they were in taking care of it.
Yeah.
It is amazing to me the small percentage of people who do nothing with their RV and they bring it in and there's a lot of issues. It also is amazing to me the number of people who take a lot of pride in their RV and they do a lot of the right things that they need to do in order to maintain it properly. And they do have those records. And those units typically will sell faster and for a higher value because of those things.
Is it true that I would just think that because of there's so many people trying to sell their RV that PPL can pretty much select which puppy they like. If you're going to go puppy shopping, if here's my RV, they can select, well, that may not be a very good fit for us. I mean, I'm not trying to say you're trying to run people away, but aren't there times when you go, this is probably not going to work?
We look for a solution for every seller that comes into the dealership. They're coming to us to try to solve a problem. Whatever that problem is, it involves selling that RV, right? They may need the money for some reason. They may need to get out of that unit because they are not going to be able to go camping anymore. They may need to get more value for that unit because the one they want to buy requires more money from that trade, and maybe not trading it and bringing it to us and letting us sell it for them will give them that much more money to put towards the one they want to buy next. Sometimes they come to us and they find the one they want to buy next and they want us to sell theirs first and then buy the one from us. Sometimes they buy the one from us and put their trade on consignment with us. So there's a lot of different solutions, but we try to find a solution for every buyer or every seller out there. And the way we do that, yes, there are some units that may come in that may not be in the condition to retail that unit, but I do have a big line of wholesale buyers that maybe we can help them through the wholesale route liquidate that unit for them. And we can do that for a very small nominal fee. But we're going to look at trying to find a solution for everybody. Everybody comes in there for a reason. I don't want to turn them around and walk away. I made some notes today. If you have a listing appointment with us this year, 94.2% of the time, that unit's staying with us when you show up.
Wow.
94.2%, that's year to date. If you have a listing appointment that you showed up for, that unit's staying with us for us to sell 94.2% of the time. So I'm only turning away 5.8% of the people who ever come to our door.
Good grief. I had no idea.
And that's the top two reasons: condition and price.
Yes, because some people are just not realistic.
Either the condition is bad and they're unwilling or unable to get the condition right, or the price is just too far out of the realm to where it doesn't make sense to even try to put it online and sell it because they're priced out of the market. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I've talked to a lot of sellers who come in that they feel emotionally that their unit is worth more than the market.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell them, you know, I'm not going to be the one to tell you yes or no. I'll let the market decide. So let's put it on the market at your price. Let's see what happens over the next 2 to 3 weeks. And 3 weeks from now, I'll give you a call and I'll give you information based on how many leads has it generated, how many people have come in to see it, how many people have written a contract on it to offer to buy it. And if nothing's happened, are you now willing to take our appraisal, our market analysis, and say, instead of this thing being worth 70,000, it should have probably been priced at 60. And, you know, and again, I'm just using numbers, but, you know, they were $10,000 too high. And in a lot of cases, it's because they've gone on other websites and they've seen units priced at that price and they think theirs should bring that as well. And I always try to remind everyone, the price you see it out there online is not usually the price it sells for.
Right, right.
That's the price it's being advertised for, but we never know what it's sold for.
But you
we do internally on the ones we do.
You said it's emotional. We get, I mean, it's our little baby. We've slept in it. We pooped in it. We've lived in it. We love it. And yes, we don't want to let it go.
Yes. It's like my house. My wife thinks my house is worth probably about 20% more than the market would bear right now.
And you're smart, so you won't tell her she's wrong, right?
I'm not going to tell her she's wrong. I'm just going to tell her, look, it's not a good time for us to try to sell our house. We've been in this house for 12 years. I don't see any reason to move. Yeah. But she's always looking at the market, and people are always looking at RVs in the market, and they're always trying to contrast and compare. When they see their unit, basically same year, make, model, and they see it advertised for a price that's probably too high for the market, they feel like theirs should be able to bring that as well. And that's a discussion that's hard to have with a seller sometimes when they come to the store. Many times we're able to show them the data that we have that's very valid and probably very accurate, that where that unit should be priced at. And many times they will relent and say, you know, you're right. I understand it's emotional. We want to try to get as much as we possibly can. And I want them to understand, I want them to get the most money they possibly can too. I really do. Because if I get them the money they want, my 10% is going to be a little bit more, right? It's going to be a little bit more. But ultimately the goal is to get them the maximum amount that the market will bear. And that's our goal every single time. And so that's the way we're going to attack the problem. Is we're going to do a complete market analysis. We're going to say, this is what units just like yours have sold for. This is what units that are similar to yours have sold for. This is what units out there on the market right now are being advertised at. Here's where our data is telling us pricing should be for that unit, for your unit specifically, based on the year, make, model, and the condition that you have it in, and all the records that you have for the maintenance on it.
Going back to the people that I speak with, many sellers, I wish I could convey how there's a feeling, a sense that when I talk to these people of relief, I'm not sure it's of relief when it's like, thank God they took it, they sold it, and I got my check, and we're going to buy another one, but at least I don't have to worry about it. And I just think that that's such a benefit for a seller to get that burden off of them. And hopefully they choose PPL, but whoever they choose, trust them and get that burden off of you. And that loops back into the beginning. You said there's no better time than today. And I totally agree.
Yeah, I do too. I think for satisfaction for me, and I've had this happen multiple times, and even recently I've had at least a handful of customers in the last couple of weeks. They've had their units marketed either on their own or at another traditional dealership on consignment. They've tried for 60 to 90 days and they've had zero success. and they've reached out to us, and maybe they reached out to us initially and they decided to go a different way. But now they're reaching back out to us saying, hey, can we still market it with you? Can we still come over and list it with you? And then they end up bringing it to us. And within a week or two, it's sold. And to me, that's the ultimate satisfaction for us, right? Where they were able to bring it to us. The model that we've been using for the past 53 years does what it's supposed to do, and they sell the unit. And within a week or two, we're contacting them saying, by the way, you're going to get a wire in your bank account here in just a day or so for your money because your unit is sold and it's over the curb.
Yeah, it makes me feel good to be able to be a part of that whole phone call and listen to those testimonials. So listen, we're going to leave it there, but thank you so much. It sounds like the September is going to be a really good month for PPL, but
September is going to be great.
So I hope you'll learn something today about what's going on in the used RV market, something that can help you decide your best pathway forward, no matter how you choose to sell your RV or where you decide to buy an RV. My thought, the used RV market, the pre-owned market, if you will, is constantly shifting, and no two dealers do things the exact same way. By understanding how RV consignments work, what the trends are, and what to look out for, you'll be in a much stronger position to make the best decision for you. If today's video gave you something useful, I hope you'll hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you hadn't already, and share this info with another RVer. Finally, remember to check out my RV resources page. It does change from time to time as I try and keep it updated with current info that you can benefit from, including links to my recommended RV dealers I have vetted, RV dealers I trust. And if you can't scan the code, that link is in the description of today's video. I do hope you'll check it out. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. Be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home.